supposed to take on the TV, but they only put it on an hour a day so they can put other programs on
What up, dog?
throughout the day. But I really started enjoying learning how to read. So what I did was, I put the cop out to the warden. When the warden came walking by, I said, look,
Fucking with my man's unique Mecca audio. Prison stories, I guess. What's the deal? Good Sunday, man. Learning how to chill and sit still. I think that might be my biggest problem. When you come from nothing every second of the day, you should be doing something. You know what I'm saying? You should be working on getting it. You should be working on saving it. You should be working on stacking it. You should be working on so many things. You know what I'm saying? And I guess that's what brings me here to y'all motherfuckers today on live. Like, dude, I guess I have a bit of survivor's guilt. Say, what's survivor's guilt? It's when you come from a fucked up situation and or place, and based on the standards of that place, you exceed what making it would be considered. And you carry a guilt with you because you made it and other people didn't. So you carry a guilt and an obligation to try to bring other people along or to offer them the opportunities that you created for yourself. I didn't necessarily think about this until I saw this Creed movie, the last one. Man, decent movie. Storyline for a black dude, even better. We all been there. You know what I'm saying? But what we forget about when we start to assimilate is everyone is making choices. Everyone is making choices. And in your route of assimilation, and you see people left behind, you'll forget that people made choices the same way you made choices. People made sacrifices the same way you made sacrifices. And a lot of the times with survivor's guilt, you allow people to attach their bad decisions to your good decisions. You know, I heard somebody say, humble yourself. They wasn't necessarily talking in reference to me, but they wanted me to comment on what I feel about someone humbling themselves. How I feel about that is this bullshit. If you go through what it takes to get to where you going and you make it there, someone else who's not there or didn't go through what you going through telling you how you should act about being there or act while you there is bullshit. If you don't owe anybody anything, meaning you made an agreement with someone to do this if they did that and you used that to get there and you didn't reciprocate what you were supposed to do, then you wrong. But if you did all you were supposed to do or you made it without not asking nobody for anything, all that humbling yourself shit is bullshit. And then I'm going to tell you something about this humbling yourself thing. Like, that's something that people made choices to not be where they wanted to be. That's something that they did. Or that's something that they want you to do so they can feel better about the choices that they made. Man, fuck all that. It's hard as hell to make it. And if you made it, that doesn't necessarily give you the right to treat people bad, but at the same time, it doesn't give anyone else the right to tell you how you should act. I mean, it just doesn't. If you've been denied the opportunity to have a cold glass of water all your life, you've been drinking water off the ground and whatnot, and you finally get you a cold glass of fresh water, nobody could tell you how to take that in. Shit, you can't even tell yourself how to take that in. Point being, me, Juan-O, have did a whole lot of unappreciated favors and carried a whole bunch of people across troubled waters because of survivor's guilt. Most people I helped and did things for didn't deserve that help, didn't deserve those favors, didn't deserve any of that. And in their mind, They knew they was using me when they asked for that shit. In my mind, I thought I was doing them a favor. In my mind, I thought we were reciprocating favor. But that's not true. Some people only ask you for shit so they can use you for shit. And some people want you to feel bad about what you have so you can give them shit. I personally, I guess I see heterosexual men deal with this a lot, but us as black men deal with it to a degree that is beyond counterproductive. I don't know too many black men that's able to be successful without having to do for the generation that came before them. That's a weight around your neck. And then when you have to go in the past and substantiate the generation that came before you, on top of substantiating your generation, it gets a little convoluted. Especially when you add the fact in, shit, mama made choices that got her in the situation she did. Now, mama will talk to you about your choices, but she'll never talk to you about her choices that put you in a position to whereas her living situation is the responsibility of a son. Now, us as black men, we carry all these different weights because if your mama out there bold, then that make you look bad as a son and you supposed to be successful. If your woman out there bold or your baby mama bold, that make you look bad. You know what I'm saying? No, the world don't look at these ancillary people as if and though they made decisions to have the situations they have. They look right at you. So when it come down to survivor's guilt and humbling yourself and all of that shit, fellas, man, can that shit. Throw that shit in the trash, man. You got to do what you got to do for you because everybody's going to blame you. Everybody's going to be talking about you, so on and so forth. So the best way to handle that is to stay heavy in the pocket and prepared in the head. And you could lie to yourself all day about what type of people folks are, but once they show it to you, it's on you to believe it and act accordingly and make your adjustments. And if you're already tied to somebody that you realizing isn't shit, isn't gonna be shit, or is against you, then you approach that situation how it is. Don't get in your feelings and allow them power over you. You get on top of what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, if you do everything right, people, they talk shit about Jesus. So even if you're doing everything right, people are still gonna talk shit about you. When you're a king, it's the only way to affect you. It's the only way you can be affected. It's the only thing you reacting to. As hard as it is, I guess some of us got to just start reacting. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole lot of simp behavior, which is suckers imposing on male principles that's been accepted in this world for a long time. So people want you to be a simp. People want you to be okay with living in the basement even though you paid for a whole house. People want you to be spoke on. You know what I'm saying? People want you to be okay with a whole lot of things that you're not supposed to be okay with. And that's why we dying young. That's why we dying early. That's why we won't accept when somebody step on our shoes. We can't get past when someone else outside of this says something because of what you're dealing with in your home base. That's why these young boys don't bother to be men at all, because they see what men are dealing with, and why would you sign up for that? That's like nobody signs up to join the army after a war has been going on for 2 and 3 years. Get to a point where the military starts recycling soldiers because no one new wants to join because they're already in the middle of some bullshit. And that's what we doing to ourselves. Only difference is you can't stop joining in for yourself. So you signed up to the bullshit that you keep continuing. You know what I'm saying? Or the bullshit that continues. I can't necessarily tell you exactly how to stop the bullshit in your life, but what I can tell you is controlling yourself will give you control over a lot of things. And sometimes it don't feel good to control yourself. Being a bigger person makes you a bigger target. Every time you're the bigger person, and this is sad, but it's true. Every time you are the bigger person in your dealings with this person in front of that person, or that person in front of this person, you just keep choosing to be the bigger person. It makes you a bigger target for every person. Not because you're wrong, but because people resent what they can't do. And none of these other people are going to ever make the choice to be the biggest person in the situation or the bigger person in the situation, so they're going to resent you. They're going to blame you. If you didn't help so many people, you couldn't be blamed so much for things going wrong. And that's what it kind of boils down to. And this is why it works against you with the whole survivor guilt thing, because you end up helping people. And that ends up working against you. And that ends up holding you back. And that ends up allowing people around you with no love for you to fuck up what you have going on. You understand? So that's the whole thing with survivor's guilt. I'm going to get back to y'all. Going live ain't really the move on here for me as I build my channel, but it is something I like to do so I don't get the thoughts mixed up trying to make pre-recorded, pre-produced videos and all of that shit, man. I don't advertise day drinking. I don't advertise most of the shit I do to you. I suggest you not do it, but I'm knee deep in the game. You know what I'm saying? Knee deep in the game. Can't stop. Not with the day drinking, but with everything else going on. So, like, as shit happen to me, I see it might depress some of y'all. It might fuck with some of y'all, but I just keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? You gotta shake that shit off. Because truth be told, the most unfair part of being a leader is the people you may be leading may not know what they doing. They know what they doing and trying to affect the king, but they don't know what they doing to themselves. So in that respect, when you're a real king, you gotta keep leading. I'm gonna keep leading. Fuck what you heard, cause they wouldn't be fucking with me if I didn't keep a check. Nobody would be around a nigga if he was nothing. Know that. So when you hear people talking about a motherfucker, he ain't this, he ain't that, but you fucking with him, they more so telling you about themselves than they telling you about somebody else. Anyways, we out this bitch.